What's up, you guys? My name is Edwin, and today's video is going to be a little bit more controversial, and it's got some people split on what to believe. So I just encourage people to do some critical thinking of their own and see all the sources that I cite. But this is just my commentary, my opinion on this whole thing. So without further ado, this video is about Adam22 and his recent video called Responding to the Allegation. Now, if you're not familiar with Adam22, he's most popular for being the host of a popular hip-hop podcast called No Jumper. Through his podcast, he has interviewed up-and-coming talent and established rappers such as Lil Yachty, 6ix9ine, Suicide Boys, and most famously, XXXTentacion. So Adam's video starts out by addressing an article written by the Daily Beast called No Jumper's Adam22 dropped from label after Daily Beast investigation into sexual assault allegations.
There's a girl who's basically lying about us and trying to ruin me, I guess you could say. Today, the Daily Beast put out an article where they're claiming that Atlantic Records dropped me because of an allegation from this girl that I interviewed, and then we had a orgy, I guess you could say, with her name is Lauren, somewhat known as Lauren Duck, aka the one-armed girl. And
hold on a second, let's pause Adam for 22 seconds real quick. Adam just stated that the article said that he was dropped from Atlantic Records because of Lauren's single allegation. However, the article literally spells out because of multiple allegations. But as you'll notice in this video, he seemed to focus on the lesser intense of the allegations. So let's read her allegations so we have a little bit of context as to what exactly he's responding to. The article states, a source close to the investigation said that the initial investigation was revisited when new allegations against Grand Mason, that's Adam's last name, when new allegations surfaced in an October Daily Beast expose. Model Lauren Duck, I guess Duck is her last name, who Grand Mason attacked on Twitter in August, told the Daily Beast that his tweets were likely an attempt to get out in front of their story. So if you visit this article that they're linking, it says, hip-hop tastemaker Adam22 accused of rape and intimidation. I'm scared every day of my life. Several women have come forward to accuse a man behind the popular No Jumper podcast and No Jumper label of sexual misconduct, ranging from preying on underage girls to rape. So basically, when these stories started coming out and this article came out, the Daily Beast was interested in Lauren's opinion because she was very vocal against him and she had her own podcast and her own experiences with him. Lauren visited LA last year to do a No Jumper interview with Grand Mason and went out with him afterwards. Earlier that night, I had asked Adam if I could stay with him because I needed somewhere to stay, him and his girlfriend's place, so I thought that it wasn't that weird or anything. And then we're at this party afterwards and he offers me a Xanax and I take it on my own, but I was extremely drunk, so I don't remember much that happened afterwards. At their apartment, they began hooking up. I'm not really aware of what's going on, and then I remember we were sitting there and then I realized that I'm being videotaped. And I look up at Adam and I'm like, are you videotaping me? And he was like, yeah. And then I don't remember anything else after that. He gave me drugs notorious for making people black out, had sex with me, and then recorded it without my consent. So Lauren's allegation is that they went to a party, he offered her Xanax, she was already drunk as hell and decided to take it, eventually blacking out, remembering bits and pieces, including him and her having sex, and him videotaping it. Alright, so reading that at face value, I'm not gonna lie, it gives me some really heavy, like, college frat boy, like, horror story vibes, you know? Which is crazy because Adam is, like, 35. Not that it's appropriate at any age, you know? But then again, this is her side of the story. Now let's see what Adam had to say to the Daily Beast in response to that. Grand Mason told the Daily Beast that the group had been consuming drugs and alcohol with the intention of all having sex at the end of the night. Does that mean they all made a pact to have sex at some point or heavily implied it? What does that mean? He said everything that happened that night was entirely consensual. I filmed like 8 seconds of us having sex. She 100% knew I filmed it, and I didn't distribute it in any way, although at some point she got the idea that I was selling it. So it seems like both parties seem to corroborate the story that they were all under the influence of drugs and alcohol, and he did in fact film her while they were having sex, even if it was only for 8 seconds. That's still wrong on so many levels because not only was she not aware of it, but she can't even give consent. You can't give consent while you're drunk. And also, he just met her. That's the part that blows my mind. I mean, he invited one of his guests to party, which is fine. I actually don't have any problem with like inviting one of your guests over to continue hanging out, whatever, you have nothing else to do. And then stay at your place. Okay, sure, she asked. But to film? Like, how do you justify filming while having sex with them? I mean, the whole having sex is totally unprofessional. I don't think, like, if I had a show and I'm, like, inviting them to be on my show, I feel like having sex is, like, completely unprofessional. Like, okay, cool, you have an open relationship, but, dude, don't have sex with your guests. I know lots of Adam's fans are probably gonna find this video and wanna hate on me, but I hope that we can all, at least in unison, agree that it's a big no-no to film someone while having sex with them and they're blacked out drunk. That just sounds all sorts of illegal. Anyway, enough of me. That's just my reaction based on what we have so far. Let's see what Adam has to say.
And there's a vlog of the entire night that shows just how consensual us all going out and partying was. And we all had a pretty good time, to be honest. And then we went back to the house, and then we all proceeded to have drunk, coked up sex for many hours.
Adam goes on to say that he vlogged the entire night and that he's hung out with her after that night plenty of times, has many friendly texts with her, pictures together.
We became pretty good friends during that time. Like,
hung out multiple times after this.
Hung out many times. I have all these text messages between us. There's all these photos of us just hanging out and everything.
Adam goes on to say that when one of his ex-girlfriends came out saying that she was raped by him, that's when Lauren began to dislike him.
My ex-girlfriend from like 10 years ago came out with this accusation saying that at the beginning of our relationship that I raped her, which is insane because, I mean, you know, there's absolutely no evidence. There's nothing to corroborate it. There's absolutely nothing to go on. But after that happened, Lauren decided that she wanted to, you know, sort of jump on the bandwagon and start to, you know, say that she didn't like me.
He does address the headline of the article being that Atlantic Records dropped him off of the label, but he says,
after my Atlantic deal was announced, which by the way was a 1-year deal and the 1-year mark just hit. So it's like, yeah, my deal ended with Atlantic, but it wasn't really based around the any of the accusations or whatever. I had a 1-year deal and it ended. I won't deny that it definitely made Atlantic kind of uncomfortable. It made it sort of complicated for them to continue to work with me because of the fact that there were these lies being spread about me.
All right, so he's saying that the allegations against him have nothing to do with Atlantic dropping him off the label. However, he announced his partnership with Atlantic back in March. We're only in December. That's 10 months. So, like, do they drop him early, or is he trying to say that he's got 2 months left? Because according to an article by Pitchfork, an Atlantic spokesperson said, "We take any allegations of this nature very seriously and we are looking into them." Lauren also posted on Twitter a message she received on Instagram saying, "Atlantic Records hired me to look into the Daily Beast article about Adam22. I'd love to speak to you. I sent you an email and you can check me out at this website." Now, she did post a screenshot with the website showing, and it does look like a legitimate lawyer. However, I'm not sharing it because I don't want that person to get spammed for whatever reason. Like, I feel like I'm gonna get spammed by Adam fans, so I'm just kind of being cautious here.
I remember right when those accusations came out that she initially reached out to you and was like, "I'm so sorry that this is happening to you," as any friend would.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it was like trashing me and you on the timeline.
Yeah, as soon as
defending you.
As soon as it became more beneficial to her to jump on the bandwagon, she went for it.
Lena's basically calling Lauren two-faced for being nice to Adam, saying, "I'm sorry you're going through this," while also trash talking him on Twitter. Now, I couldn't find anything of Lauren trash talking him on Twitter during the dates of March 22nd or before, so I'm not exactly sure what she's referring to. However, Lauren did have a general response to this part of the video. Adam said that I reached out to him and apologized that he was being falsely accused of rape, then posted a screenshot of him texting me, apologizing, and me basically being like, "I don't know what's happening, LMAO." Now, I gotta admit, with both of them saying that Lauren reached out to them saying, "I'm sorry you're going through this," it got a little confusing, but when you really look at the text that they're showing, it is Adam saying to her, saying, "Happy birthday, I'm sorry if you're getting any shit for being associated with me," basically. And she's saying, "Hey, thank you. I haven't really been paying attention to any of it." So she seems a little bit clueless as to exactly what's going on in that world of his. How did they not catch this? You're saying that she reached out to you saying sorry, but it's actually the opposite. Adam's reaching out to her saying, "I'm sorry if you're getting any backlash." I feel like this is a slip up on their behalf. I mean, maybe it's how they view their reality, but what do you guys think? Because to me, it looks like they're kind of proving against themselves that he, in fact, reached out to her.
There's a new article from the Daily Beast, which, you know, is always a give and take of should I respond to this kind of thing or not. Like currently, I believe it has 10 retweets. So it's like not that amplified. There's not that many people paying attention to it. But at the same time, like the reporting being done here is so dishonest.
So this is the part that gives me a hint that he's not so much responding because an article said he was dropped due to sexual allegations, but more so because Lauren was dishonest with her storytelling of their night together.
The lies that she's telling in particular revolve around the idea that she was sort of drugged. That she says that I gave her a bunch of Xanax, which, you know, my girlfriend was there. By the way, the articles don't mention that Lena was there.
Yeah, no one mentions that I was there, that there was another girl there, that we all had sex.
Something I noticed while watching their video is that they really like oversharing details, and if anything, they seem very offended that the article didn't do the same, like that the article was just a vague, short retelling of the night as opposed to a book of the night, you know, telling every single detail.
And I remember her and her friend were doing coke and drinking before the podcast, and they offered me cocaine, and I said that I didn't want to because I was really nervous about the podcast already. I specifically remember this moment, and it's like, for her to say that you drugged her, like, it just, she was drinking and fucking doing coke all day long. It was her drugs.
See, this is what I mean. Lena goes out of her way to overshare details about Lauren doing coke before the podcast, which has nothing really to do with what transpired later on the night, what Lauren is talking about. Lauren is talking about being offered Xanax and then being filmed while having sex. That was the allegation. It has nothing really to do with her doing coke. She never said she was offered anything other than Xanax either. So I feel like this is one of the many examples that Lena and Adam give just to make Lauren look bad and lose her credibility.
She is an alcoholic cokehead, and everybody who knows her knows this. So the idea that
I don't know if I would say she's an alcoholic cokehead, but every time I've seen her, she's been trash.
See, this is what I mean. They continue to go out of their way to try to kill her credibility, calling her an alcoholic cokehead, saying that everyone that knows her knows this. But I mean, I don't know her, and I don't know you guys. So I mean, either accusation against you guys or her could be true. I can't confirm. I wasn't there. However, you both parties have confirmed that you filmed her while you were having sex with her and she was blacked out drunk.
She says that you gave her Xanax at this party while she was already so fucked up, and that's what
100%
blacked
not
out.
true.
So absolutely not true. You didn't even have Xanax on you that night. You kept it at home, and you basically took it after all the fucking was done so that you could fall asleep. And she saw you taking it.
So their version of the story is that Lauren saw Adam taking some Xanax and she asked for it so she could go to sleep. While Lauren's version of the story is that he offered her Xanax at the party earlier on in the night.
There's a vlog of the entire night in which you could see us all going out and having a great time together and everything, and that there was absolutely nothing fucked up at all about anything. And she claims that I like filmed her without her permission.
So throughout Adam's vlog, you do notice him sort of filming people without permission, and I mean, you could say, well, they're at a party, it happens, I mean, it's LA. Okay, but what about filming the Uber driver? That's kind of weird, no? I mean, did Adam ask the Uber driver if it was okay to film him while the Uber driver told him he couldn't fit all of his friends in the car?
Number one, I did film for like 10 seconds during this orgy, I guess. But she knew that I was filming. She was conscious of it. And then I didn't do anything with the footage. Like, nobody has seen it. I showed like one or two of my friends at most.
Ooh, okay. So I think I'm understanding now. So Adam thinks that because someone acknowledges that there's a camera, that is consent? Bro, no, that is not how it works. Especially while she's inebriated and on drugs, like you already admitted so many times in this video. You're calling her drunk and how you guys are all drunk. And you think it's okay to film her? Honestly, the weird part is actually the whole justification of it. Like, a normal reaction might be like, oh, and I realized how stupid that was of me to film her, so I deleted it straight away. But instead, he insists that he showed nobody except for the 1 or 2 people at most that saw it. What? Did you forget to edit this part of your video out? Because your story isn't checking out and it's starting to sound illegal.
We were like flirting the whole night. I mean,
And that's typically how it goes with us, is that normally I kind of take a back seat to us hooking up with other girls, and you sort of are like the ringleader. So
but we never assume that it's going to happen.
No, totally. And when I had her on the podcast, I had no idea that we were all going to hook up.
Just another day at work, you know, Lena flirts with Adam's guests and it may or may not lead to sex. It's just so weird. It's so weird to me, but I guess if this is our normal, you know, I'm not really judging. I just think it's funny how casual they are about it. Like I already said earlier in the video, I think it's unprofessional to have sex with guests you just met. But I guess if that's their thing, if they feel strongly about it, then maybe at least get some NDA signed so this kind of thing doesn't happen. Or how about this? Don't film yourself having sex with your guest while your guest is on drugs and alcohol.
And I mean, we have a fucking rap sheet of, we probably hooked up with, I would say, at least 50 girls together over the course of the last like 2.5 years. And I don't believe any of them have ever said anything negative about us.
It's always been the same way. We had a good time. We're friends. We talk the next day. We text whenever.
What Adam and Lena are basically saying here is that they typically get great Yelp reviews on their group sex, and they're upset that Lauren didn't rate 5 stars. At least 50 people in the last 2.5 years. Damn.
There was a time, even like a month after that, where she came to my house with Carly. We all hung out. Then we came to the store. You were doing podcasts with Tana, Elijah, and Christine that night. And we were just hanging out in the back. Like,
They continue to air out Lauren's dirty laundry and elaborate on times they share together as friends throughout the video, and one of Adam's friends asked Lauren on Twitter, why would you hang with your perpetrator? Why would you voluntarily text him? Why would you go anywhere near him or have anything to do with him? Exactly, I call BS. To which Lauren replied, I was scared and didn't want this man to release a video that was taken without my consent. I stayed civil with him for months to protect myself. I think that's a very common criticism that victims of any sort of abuse receive. Now, of course, with her, the big issue seems to be the fact that he filmed her without her consent and like naked. That's like revenge porn. Like, why else would he need that? Why wouldn't he have it deleted like straight away, you know? Why would he have shown it to one or two of his friends? And why did he end the vlog of that night with a caption that said, I'll sell you the rest of the footage from that night for $20,000 cash. Thanks, bro. What's that about? I'm assuming that's where her paranoia of you selling the sex video you made of her could have come from.
I don't know if I should be more mad at her or more mad at the media. Like, I know it's sort of a cliche thing to be like, oh, the media is conspiring against me to put out this version of events or whatever.
To be honest, I feel like you should be a little bit more angry at the media, like actually respond to the article and defend yourself against the article and not just Lauren, because you're giving her so much energy, whereas she literally only had a few quotes in the entire thing, you know? It's the Daily Beast that made the article with the headline saying that you got dropped by Atlantic due to multiple sexual allegations. And your response is a nearly 20-minute hit piece on Lauren herself. Only.
The fact that they didn't even include the fact that Lena was there.
And her best friend at the time was there too. Like, someone who I've spoken with probably in the last 6 or 8 months.
So Lauren's friend Carly, who was also there that night, decided to respond to Lena on Twitter, and she said, you literally told me you had no idea he gave her a Xanax and that it couldn't be true because he didn't do Xanax at the time, but now you were there when he gave it to her, and I'm not mentioned because Lauren respectfully left me out of all of this. So by the sounds of it, Lauren didn't want to involve anyone that wasn't exactly necessary to her allegation, being that she was recorded while having sex, drunk, and on drugs.
What I saw and what I was a part of is not the way that this article is telling the story.
Not to mention there's a fucking vlog of the whole night if you want to see the nature of what was going on with us all that night. I mean...
So I watched the vlog, and I encourage you guys to watch it as well, just as Adam does, but as I said before, there are quite a few instances where people seem off guard when they're being filmed by Adam.
You guys want some candy? Exactly. Swag. Cozy boys. Cozy boys tapes. Cozy tape. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're coming with us and we're going to somebody's Airbnb for a little bit?
What are you doing on your thing?
Oh, I'm vlogging.
Vlogging?
I just want you guys to help spread the word that this is bullshit, because we're kind of up against the odds. I mean, you have like established media publications spreading these fucking lies about us, and I mean, I guess I just want to say that I need you guys' help to like get the other fucking narrative out there, because there's just no truth to this shit.
Adam says he's up against the odds because he's going up against traditional media. However, his 18-minute video gave a lot more details from his side versus Lauren with a much smaller platform that just used the Daily Beast to amplify her voice just a little bit more. So that's partially a reason why I want to make this video. So if any fans of Adam or Lena do find this video, I hope that you guys can use some critical thinking. I mean, what's definitely factually messed up is recording someone while they're drunk. I think I said that quite a few times, and they're having sex.
I know that a lot of my fans were not going to give a shit either way because they don't trust the media, or they don't trust the stuff that's been said about me.
The way he asked for help from his fans and says that they probably wouldn't believe anything being said about him is a little bit concerning to me, because I hope that they're not as sheep-minded as he makes them out to sound. I hope that everybody can see everything being said, you know, all the narratives, not just his, not just hers. I think everybody should apply their own logic and really see what is being said before making up their mind or trolling someone, because I know Lauren's receiving a lot of hate.
And I just want people out there too, is like, don't let her forget.
I will say that I want people to spread the word, but I'm not saying that anyone should be bullied.
No, yeah, I'm not saying
I don't want
bully
to do
her,
that.
but just you guys out there should know that she is that kind of person, and she
bullied us during the accusation shit, and I just
Oh
don't
my
want
God.
to do it back to her.
Finally, they end the video by saying, don't bully her, but don't let her forget she's a liar. And they go back and forth, don't bully her. You know, we've been bullied. It's a little awkward.
We're still happy as fuck. Everything is great. We just got back from Japan, but thank you. Like and subscribe. Bye.
Well, hopefully you guys get some good Yelp reviews from your Japanese engagements. Alright, in all seriousness, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you weren't too harsh on me if you have a different stance, you know? I think this is definitely something to have a discussion over in a healthy way, because there's a lot of hateful words being thrown back and forth and a lot of insensitive jokes, so I try to be as respectful as possible, even though you obviously probably know where I stand, but I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, you still made it this long, so fudge it, give it a thumbs up. See you next week.